give up on that so quickly. I'm here too, and I have feelings about cursing them.
So, do you think they're going to be in sync from the beginning, or otherwise?
I think they're going to go for at least the chest here. Wild's leaving, and Big Dunka looks like he may be heading off somewhere else, maybe to the escape. Check out what good old Uncle has. Is that a Quake medallion in the Sanctuary, Vitor?
That was a Quake medallion in the Sanctuary. We already have our first semi-major item.
Doesn't really unlock anything right now, but I do enjoy me some Quack.
It is the third worst medallion that you can get, but a medallion nonetheless, which is important for entry requirements into Turtle Rock and Misery Mire.
Absolutely. And we did see 3 crystals in the light world, $50 at the Uncle, and it looks like a piece of heart here at the secret passage chest. Big Dunka cashing in with a lot of money there. Man.
Well, Wild is not getting so much money off of the single rupees coming from the tree pool, but finds the most amazing hoarder that you can get with bombs being thrown out after you lift up the shrub or rock from them.
That's incredible. 7 bombs in the pocket. I'm sure Big Dunk is going to be heading up there too as well. And we see a 5 arrow upgrade in Lumberjack Cave. So not too important. Not really going to have Aga on the mind right now.
Yeah, they probably won't even start thinking about it unless they find a cape and the lamp and aren't finding the Moon Pearl anytime soon.
So yeah, this is actually a really important match for both of these guys. Since they are both 1 and 2, getting a win here can be absolutely huge. Because if you win the rest of your matches, then you're guaranteed a spot into the group stage. Winning this match and one more will get you to the playoffs. So certainly an important match here.
Very much so, but an important, interesting side effect that most people don't know about the Hoarders, Hoarders actually have 2 prizes that they can give out. And Big Dunka, being able to corner the Hoarder in such a way, was able to get both prizes to proc, and the second prize for the Hoarder happened to be a full magic drop. Which
if he finds
a
sword, he might be able to use that Quake in interesting ways.
Absolutely. The second prize drop, I believe, happens on the 7th drop from the Hoarder, so long as it's not the last one.
Big Dunka with a lot of cash here. Wild did pick up the 300 in Lost Woods as well. And we're finding a Power Glove in Blind's house. It's so bad, Vitor. So bad.
Those gloves. It's too early. We need to, we need them to, like, go for... See, there should be something in Ice Rod Cave and something at Agina. Or Agina, depending on your pronunciation. I've heard it both ways, just now.
I have as well. We are going to head into the well. Remember, Big Dunka has checked the secret passage. So he has that little extra information and cash.
Seems like arrow upgrades are the, well, just upgrades in general are the order of the day here in the well.
Oh my goodness. Gotta love those upgrades. And we're gonna be buying an item here from the bottle vendor. It's bombs. Not too bad, but a little expensive.
He luckily had the upgrades to fill those extra bombs into.
There you go. And into the chicken house with 20 more rupees. Oh man. Still haven't found any sort of weapon other than bombs.
Well, they certainly have the upgrades to hold plenty of them. Given that Wild did pick up 2 bomb upgrades in the well, he's going to go ahead and be willing to buy an extra 10 here.
I think that's a pretty wise and interesting decision. That may lead him towards escape, which optimally you can do with 5 bombs, but can be a little tricky when guards are chasing you around all over the place.
Yeah, if you haven't practiced it, it's quite a feat once you get it down, though.
But with 20 bombs, you can just bomb the whole area and you'll be fine, right?
You do still have a limit of 2 bombs on the screen at any given time. Just lay out a strip mine of bombs everywhere.
Why not?
I think that was a shield in the library, but that was so fast, I'm not sure.
It was definitely a baby shield. That's what I saw.
Okay.
So not super exciting, but could be a nice upgrade later down the road. But we gotta find some boots first if we're gonna get a piece of that. I don't think either of these guys are gonna be worrying about that too much, though, as Wild heads down towards the dam and Mini Moldorm Cave. Bigdunka actually keeping some rupees on hand, decided not to buy extra bombs. He's still got 10, which is a good amount to get through. But he is very close to that important 500 rupees for Zora.
We pull the shroom out of the floodgate for Wild, which may come in handy soon.
Now, Vitor, when you find the mushroom like this, do you think about the magic bat glitch that was recently found, and do you like try to hold out for that red cane? What do you do?
I do not. I immediately, because I mean, hey look, there's a baby shield.
That's amazing.
Mostly I would think like, yeah, if I happen to have the red cane and the hammer or access to the magic bat, I would consider it. But realistically, that mushroom might be gating your access to the red cane or much further progress. So I would just take care of it. Use it up.
I generally agree, especially when you find it so early. And we did find Sank Heart in Escape. Bigdunka with a nice check there, using those power gloves immediately after finding them to get some value.
It was some good usage of like pushing your advantage. Wild taking care of the mini Moldorms in Mini Moldorm Cave like nobody's business. Not the most optimal bombs you could use, but pretty much every single bomb he threw landed on a Moldorm.
Absolutely, and got 300 more rupees for his troubles. So Zora is available, but Walk on Water glitch is not unless Moon Pearl is over here at Ice Rod Cave, which looks like Wild is going to check right now.
Something I would definitely agree with. Say again?
I said as he runs away from that crazy bee.
Gotta watch out for the bees in this game. They can be friendly or really mean. Wild has to be really careful going through this area. Any one of these crabs could kill him in a single hit.
I was worried because you said something about it, but yeah, he made it.
I paused. I gave enough time for him to get to safety.
And to that single roop.
High quality single roop.
Bigdunka's got to make these bombs count. He's only got 4 more.
Ooh, he's got some jukes happening from the one in the bottom.
There he goes. He's doing fine.
I could see Wild fake flippering up to the hobo from here, but
well, he's definitely fake flippering. That's for sure.
As he was doing the setup from the left. I actually find it easier to do the setup from the right for some reason, even though it's technically harder.
We're gonna see what's on Lake Hylia Island, just 50 bucks. And yeah, we're going to Hobo. And we might see Wild try to fake flipper escape from Hobo and maybe head towards Zora, but that's just one item. It's just one lonely item.
One item and some information. You'll know what's on Zora's ledge.
That's true.
Although if you haven't practiced this, it's not worth just going for the first time because you can soft lock yourself.
Absolutely.
And he's trying it. He's almost lined up. Ooh. I
don't think that's good. Oh, it is
No,
good.
he's safe. He made it.
Whew. Okay, thank goodness. Because you can soft lock yourself and lose all your progress, which is really bad.
Well, you'll only lose your progress if you press any directional buttons and go into like a screen scrolling state.
Oh,
What
right, you
have
can
to-
still save and quit. Okay.
Yeah, you have to wait until Link becomes visible again, which can take some time, and then just save and quit from there. But until then, you're kind of just stuck. And you have to know to not press your D-pad at all.
bigdunka trying to set this up as well, as Wild does go for the Zora play here. See a full heart on the ledge. Not too important. Keep in mind that without the Moon Pearl, you cannot use the Walk on Water glitch to access those two items in the waterfall. So this is all that Wild can collect in this route without the Moon Pearl or the flippers.
There is another way to, I believe, store up fake flippers with the boots, but... Or not fake, but with the walk on water. But they don't have the boots to do that either.
Yep, and just a life lesson from Zora here. Not too great. These guys are not finding very much progression.
So there was a question in the chat, why do you need the Moon Pearl for the walk on water glitch? It has to do with the way the game checks Link's state and what he's able to do whenever he exits a location into the overworld. The Moon Pearl signals that he is able to walk, and water tiles are actually considered like land tiles, except for when you have the flippers and how you entered them. So the game thinks that you're actually on land tiles at that point, hence why you're able to walk on water, but it requires the Moon Pearl during that check to make that happen.
Ooh, we find the Titan's mitts back in Sahasrarla's hut, so really nice find there, but still does not unlock any progression.
Not without the lamp? Or maybe the lamp?
Well, or the Moon Pearl, really, to get into the Dark World.
Yeah, that would be our other one.
I mean, they can definitely go up Death Mountain and sequence break it. That's fine, but that's not part of the logic right now.
I agree with this early play from Wild into Eastern Palace. Your other options are to go out and check Agana, and that's about it. Maybe drop off your mushroom.
You can do Escape as well. These guys have not been to the front part of Escape. And with bombs, it's going to be slow. But hey, you went into Eastern, you found silver arrows. Not too bad.
That's got to be feeling pretty good. I mean, again, an item that doesn't actually progress you at all, but it means when you do come back here, you're going to have a quick time of beating the boss.
Maybe we'll find the bow here and we won't even have to come back.
That would be nice, but for them to not sequence break it, they would also need to find the lamp. So you're saying Silver's bow and lamp all in Eastern.
I'm down.
Whose side are you on?
I mean, I think I think that they would actually go for the kill on Armos even if they didn't find the lamp, though. Like, these players are very well experienced with that. I think bigdunka is going to make the same play into Eastern, and he would probably finish it as well.
If it came down to that, I do believe that these players are very well versed and could do both dark rooms. The first dark room is much easier than the second one.
Agreed.
Even though it requires a lot more knowledge of the room, you run a much lower risk of dying in it. A question from the chat is, what's the hardest darkroom to do in the game? And the answer to that is, it really depends on your play style. There are a few that are incredibly hard to get through, one of them being the Misery Mire one. The darkroom here that Wild is just walking past is also incredibly hard. But it really just comes down to how many times you've been in a place that you can memorize that room and be able to work through it.
I think Aghanim's Tower might be the one that I think most people would say is the hardest one, but it's also one that like most people just wouldn't do anyways.
Yeah, it's not one that is remotely pleasant. I think the moment we got rid of the free light cone in the light world, the very next game I played, I actually did that in the dark, and I don't ever want to do that again. It was extremely unpleasant.
Wild getting through the dark room with no trouble. Again, this is a sequence break. Gonna find Vanilla Big Key. And Vanilla Big Key.
And you're hoping for a bow here in the big chest. Vanilla bow is what you are aiming for.
That's right. That's what I want to see right now. Let's go.
A little bit of angling.
Yep. I want these guys to have silvers right away. Oh well. Just a piece of heart, so I'm sure you're excited for that.
I'm excited because the sequence break police said, you tried, but all you're getting is just a little bit of love.
Sequence break police, I love it. Big Dunka considering actually saving and quitting out there. Maybe he didn't want a sequence break, but looks like he's going to go for it. Wild checking the end of escape.
And then these guys will be back at parity.
Yep. We might see Wild take another dip into a dark room here, because I believe you get the key back here, and he could make his way over.
Absolutely.
Gets that Sank Heart as well.
Although dark rooms are a lot harder when you don't have anything to figure out where you are in the room, and your only weapon is bombs.
And you have to kill a rat.
Yeah. You have to basically shoot blindly into a room with a limited supply of things. That one might be, with that item set, the hardest dark room that I can think of.
Yeah, agreed. Well, Wild hasn't checked the secret passage or escape, so I think he's going to try to do both of these now. Big Dunka, very nicely done. Gets through the Vanilla Big Key room, and gonna be a little disappointed, but still, pretty much these guys are very even. It'll be interesting to see if Big Dunka heads to Agana.
An interesting side point to the logic, there are no requirements on escape for like being able to actually beat the enemies. It's believed that you should be able to beat them with bombs alone. And I believe Wild is going to go ahead and take that jump.
Where's Big Dunka going? Is he like going to farm bombs? Because he doesn't have any bombs right now.
He's got one.
He's got one. That's not going to really be enough to get through the escape. So he's probably thinking about trying to get some bombs here.
This would be a good place to farm.
He could have bought them over near Lake Hylia. There's a shop there.
Yep. It even has a pretty little sign on it.
But looks like he may just head into Kakariko and purchase some there. So Wild actually buying those bombs in town has pulled him a little bit ahead.
Oh, wow.
There's the Moon Pearl, so we have Dark World access immediately now.
And we should also give it up to our tracker for today's game, Dude. Holding down the fort, making sure that all of the trackers are kept up to date.
Oh yeah, he's doing an awesome job. Alright, so Big Dunka purchased his bombs. He's going to be heading into escape. Wild trying to take out these guards. Blowing himself up in the process.
Hey, whatever gets, the guard taken care of, he is, like, totally just running at him with the bomb.
It's working, though. He's getting through it pretty quick.
He did that.
And we've already found the map and the small key, so all of these are items. Whether good or not.
That is true. The last chest down here in the basement where Zelda's cell can never be a small key. Because you could potentially lock yourself out of portions of the game.
That makes sense.
But I do hope Wild does pick up those arrows. Yep. So something Big Dunka kind of missed out on, whenever you take a trip to Eastern Palace, it's always worth just picking up as many arrows as you can find. I mean, it doesn't hurt. You'll probably need them later. And it's better to have them than to be, like, on low arrows when you get somewhere later in the game.
Right. So, basically our only option now is to... I mean, I guess Wild could have done the sequence break in the dark room. But he can turn in that mushroom, which it looks like he's doing, or he could have gone into Village of Outcasts directly.
Yep. I think this is a fine play. I mean, it's going to get it off his mind. I would maybe consider saving it for the flute, but there's no guarantee that the flute isn't at the witch.
Right.
It's just...
Oh, we have Agana as well. Good points.
That's true.
Only a piece of heart at the witch.
So I'm guessing Wild's now going to just go straight to Village of Outcasts.
Yeah, I think that makes the most sense. Definitely more dense area than over at Agana's cave, but Agana could still be holding some treasure. Doesn't stop him from having something.
He could have that all-elusive sword that they are really looking for early in the game.
Yeah, it would be nice to have a weapon other than bombs at this point. Can't even finish Thieves Town if they wanted to.
That's true. The list of things you can hurt blind with is large, but bombs are not on them.
Exactly. And we may get our first map check here from Wild. Crystal 6s and Thieves. Got 5 in Palace of Darkness. We've got our pendants all across the Southern Dark World. Green pendant in Swamp. So Ice and Mire are pendants as well. That's kind of nice.
That is actually really nice.
Or maybe it could be bad, depending on where the seed goes. We haven't found a lot of items so far, so still on the lookout for some things.
So from where our runners currently are, they've done about the same amount of things. I think Wild's done the mushroom and Big Dunka hasn't. And they've basically entered the Dark World within seconds of each other.
And I'm really liking this play from Big Dunka, jumping straight into what I like to call Value Woods. Skull Woods has had the goods, but Wild finding a goodie in the bomb hut with the banana hats.
Let's not disappoint Skull Woods. Has the flute.
Oh man! Already value.
Some immediate value. And Wild has to watch his health here. The Dark World is notorious for things that do 2 hearts of damage, and with Blue Mail, he is right on the cusp of death with a single heart to his name.
Well, Wild just found a big weapon for himself, the Cane of Brian, in the Sea House. So that's actually really nice.
Yeah, that's a super huge weapon that'll allow him to beat Lanmo as well as Blind.
And you gotta be able to get to Mothula, but you can use it on Mothula too if you want.
Yes, you can. You're gonna want to hope for half magic.
Only 100 in the digging game.
Do we think we're gonna see Wild take a frog tour?
He could, but it looks like he's just heading south. Gonna race towards that hype cave. He's gotta be, again, really careful with his health here.
So you think I would still potentially take the frog with me? At the very least, once I'm done doing my southern tour, I can then just save and quit and drop him off. It's not too hard.
I think it's gonna make a lot more sense for Big Dunka to do that, though, since he does have that flute. He can walk over to Village of Outcasts, deposit that dwarf, and activate the flute, and then set up for the purple chest. Oh no! Wild taking a death here. Lifting the rock.
That 1 heart in the Dark World with Blue Mail is pretty rough place to be, but he'll be able to get right back into the Dark World. Maybe he'll go north this time and get that flute right away.
That could work out really well for him. But looks like Big Dunka's gonna jump right into Thieves Town. Wow.
Well, he has everything he needs to be able to beat the dungeon. He'll just end up leaving a chest behind if he doesn't find the hammer in here.
But if he's counting his items, and we already got 1 item with that bomb upgrade, then maybe there's just a map or compass in there. Yeah,
he pretty much wants to see the key, the big key, and items. He does not want to see any maps or compasses, at least in these first 4.
So far, so good.
Yeah, it'll pretty much guarantee that there's something in the big chest.
So it looks like this death has actually worked in Wild's favor, perhaps. Misery Mire is a pendant, but having the flute is just awesome in general for just traversing the world. So this is gonna actually pay off for Wild pretty big here.
Well, it also equates to 2 items in the Mire area and an item up on Death Mountain that's free, plus they get knowledge of another one.
And it's possibly our only way into desert, which is required.
That's true. They are just a mirror away from the desert access.
So I'm sure he's happy about, a little bit happy about that death, having found the flute there. Alright, so bigdunka is just following through with this play. I really like it. I like when people kind of just keep going in Thieves Town and try to look for value, maybe even finish it off. It is Crystal 5 or 6 as well, which is kind of important.
Absolutely is. Did bigdunka check the second half of nice bomb? That was actually a really well placed bomb. Did bigdunka check the second half of Skullwoods?
I don't think he did. I think he left and decided not to check this one chest.
I don't blame you, because without a sword, this is a nightmare to check.
Yeah, Wild's doing a really good job.
He might have been placed a little too far to the left. No, he's good. All right. And I think he's setting up a death warp here.
Unfortunately, just a key, so that does work in bigdunka's favor. And there's our first sword in Thieves Town!
Oh
what
my!
A find from bigdunka there.
That is so far out of the way. And so much height. Bigdunka's got to watch out. These grasshoppers will do, again, 2 hearts of damage to green male Link, which 1 hit will put him down to half a heart. As well as most anything in this dungeon.
This Patrick Star is not messing around either.
They don't. I found what ends up happening with them is they'll go slow, except for the one time they go fast right at you.
Pretty much.
So Wild wastes no time and goes ahead and just activates that flute. I think we're going to see him... he'll probably go up to Death Mountain first, would be my guess.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, there's 2 items you can get over there versus the 2 items in Mire Shed. You do get to know what the requirement is for Mire, but I guess if you find, like, the mirror over up on Death Mountain, then you're better off once you go to the Mire area. Get a lot more stuff.
Now he's going to do this seriously in the dark, which is, again, any room where you don't have, like, a sword or a boomerang. I guess he could flip on the Cane of Burner at some point if he gets really lost.
Yeah, this can definitely be tricky without any way to locate yourself.
Yeah, because you have no knowledge of when you've picked up the old man, when you've transitioned. He's coming out with an old...
Wow!
That was fast.
That was like faster than I do it when it's lit. Alright, so here's the blind fight. I think there's 1 item left, and it's either in the big chest or it's here, but I could be wrong.
Well, he's definitely hoping that it's in the big chest, and he's gonna burn his strats blind to death. Yeah, you flip on that burn cane. And...
Yeah, please do. You're at half a heart. Phew.
Oh.
The flippers in Spectacle Rock Cave.
And we have a map pickup off of Blind for bigdunka.
Which I want to say the big chest has something because of that.
If he picked up the compass, then most certainly. So the flippers open up 2 locations immediately. A third location that Wild already knows is a big heart big heart, a heart container. I could see him fluting to 8 at this point and just going to check the waterfall fairy.
Man, you read his mind.
Well, play with the guy enough, you know.
Fair enough. And yeah, you just find those flippers. You might as well try to make good use of them. Like, I like this kind of play in Randomizer. It's like kind of following the breadcrumbs a little bit. It's like, you found this, you have this advantage over your opponent, possibly. Why not make as much as you can with it? Oh my goodness, all the hearts!
So the flippers lead to 3 full heart containers.
That's crazy. It also does give access in the logic to Ice Palace. Unfortunately, we don't have a way of getting past the Freezors right now. But that might be something on his mind soon. But Ice Palace is a pendant.
That's true. He can, once he finds the sword, get into Mystery Mire.
That's right.
So all he needs to do is just pop into Thieves Town and basically do the larger portion of it. Never mind.
Oh my goodness!
Don't.
Well then.
Save and quit. You could have gone into Pendant Mire, Wild.
He doesn't have hookshot or boots.
Well, he could have gone in.
He could have gone in. So there's another sword upgrade, really nice, and we're actually gonna take our first look into Hype Cave! Can I get some hype from everyone for Hype Cave?
You better get hyped. Alu is over here overhyping. He needs to get all the hype from everyone in chat.
We got a 10-bomb upgrade. We've got a shovel! Yo, a bottle! The Fetch Quest dreams!
So, we have just seen Fetch Quest Cave. Dude, chat's really living up to the hype. That's awesome.
And Wild is jumping straight into Thieves Town now. I think that sword has given him some confidence to jump right in there.
Absolutely, and he's going to end up getting the Master Sword out of this deal.
Mm-hmm.
And bigdunka is doing excellent routing, taking the flute back to Kakariko Village to activate it with his dwarf in tow.
And he can check Sick Kid while he's there too.
That's true. He's
maybe
gonna
route towards the shovel.
He is doing a lot of great routing right now.
Alright, so Swag Duck activated. See, there's the compass in that chest there at the beginning of Thieves Town. So map was on blind. There is an item in the big chest.
Sick Kid is getting a visit from the dwarf, getting a full heart, and the dwarf's getting a little touchy-feely.
Dwarf's like, why didn't you give me your heart?
And let's see if this play leads to something amazing. Because this is one of those.
It could certainly pay off. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those like not so amazing.
Well, that does unlock the purple chest. We'll see if he decides to go all the way to do it, because it's a bit of a trek, but it can be done. Looks like he's probably gonna go use that shovel though.
Yeah, he's like mindset of I'm gonna capitalize on the items I've just found.
Again, really, really well done doing that. You don't want to forget. While it's fresh in your mind, might as well knock it out, and it's a good route, too.
Unfortunately, it just led to some sewing needles.
That's right. Gonna take advantage of the flute, though, and head somewhere else. And Wild getting that Master Sword.
Absolutely, and this is one of those moments where Wild lost time by going and dropping off the mushroom earlier that bigdunka did not have to lose because he ended up waiting for the flute.
Yeah, that works out really well for bigdunka here. Nope's out of there. And we'll see where he goes to next. Looks like we're going to Mire or Desert.
Checking out the desert ledge, probably gonna go pick up Agana, and then flute back and do the Mire area right after, would be my guess.
Yeah, if this item at Agana is a good one, this could be pretty huge for Big Dunka. He might soar into the lead here. But Wild's making good time here in Thieves Town.
Absolutely. It'd be interesting if this were a sword at Agana.
Only 20 bucks.
He's an old man. He doesn't have much left in his hidden walled-off cave area.
Why even hide it in the first place?
I don't know. Some people are just so rude.
They're rude for hiding their money from Link, who just like walks into their house and breaks their pots and steals their money and items.
Yep.
So rude.
So rude.
Awesome blind fight from Wild. And it looks like Big Dunka is going to grab himself the Master Sword here.
Yes, he is. Now, if you don't have the flippers, and you do what Big Dunka just did there, where you jump into the water, you can walk straight into this place and not get hit by the 2 fuzz blobs there. Whatever they're called. Sparkies.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We'll call them that. Lint
Sure.
towels? Lint balls?
Lint balls? What? Alright, and now Wild is taking the frog and going on a little tour here. He's gonna go back to Hype Cave, towards Hype Cave, which he did miss out on before. Which makes a lot of sense. Big Dunka running out of bombs again. Going back to buy some more.
It's not a bad play. Once you have the flute, it's pretty quick to pick up more bombs.
No, it's a very smart play. It's just, that's been happening to him a lot.
So,
sadly.
Of note, Wild could actually take this frog all the way up to the catfish if he wanted.
Yeah, because you can swim with that frog over towards the pod area.
Which is something I would consider, given that having the flippers is currently their only access to East Dark World.
Mm-hmm. So something could be hiding over there.
Yeah, and you don't want to really go up to... You don't want to prioritize like going up to catfish or in that region more than once. So I'm of the mind, knock it out early so it's not in the back of your head, just hanging on you, but Wild says not this time.
Well, I mean, he just found some fetch quests that are really near Kakariko, and he has the frog. So it's like, maybe I just knock all this stuff out real quick and get some quick items here. So I don't blame him for doing this, but we know it's not really going to pay off.
Oh, we got some purple soldiers.
And Big Dunka's heading over to get his flippers, so that's great. These guys are pretty much caught up to each other at this point.
Yep, Wild's going to finish up the fetch quest that Big Dunka's had. So after this point, Big Dunka's going to go and get his 2 extra heart containers.
Very likely.
Yeah, and then we'll have some like new movements from our players. Do you
I think you're right about the East Dark World. I think something's over there. Kinda gotta be. Where else can you go?
Can't really go anywhere else. You got the purple chest.
Oh yeah, purple chest save and quit is interesting. Maybe Wild will think about doing that since he's just delivered the dwarf.
Yeah, it'll be a little fresher on his mind. But yeah, it's got to be in pod or on the pyramid or at catfish. You do like you could enter Ice Palace just like you could enter Mire, but not actually get anywhere.
Correct.
Hey, it was in my mind.
Fair enough. Yeah, it looks like Wild's gonna head to this Dark World portal. Either he's gonna head to Catfish on the north route, or he's gonna go for that purple chest play.
I think he could actually go and grab the purple chest and take it to the catfish if he wanted.
I don't think you can swim with the purple chest.
Can you?
I thought you couldn't, but I could be wrong.
Oh, no. Well, you can jump off of ledges only, but you have to do it in a certain way. So no, he would not be able to in his current state do that.
Dude says you can swim, but you can't speed up your swimming. Okay, cool. And there's the Swaganim net.
And the getting wrecked by pterodactyls.
Yeah. Oh, Big Dunk is going back for that one chest, so this is gonna cost him a little bit of time. But it's not too bad. And now he has the Master Sword, so he can get through it a lot easier.
So it looks like Wild is just heading straight out to Catfish.
Yep. I mean, you get to this East Dark World area by doing it, so it can definitely pay off. Not many places to go.
Nope, they definitely need a bow or the mirror.
Or a hook shot.
Yeah, that would
Be
do
pretty
it.
nice for Death Mountain.
Hammer would get them the item in Thieves Town. And the hammer pegs. They just need something.
Yeah, like, this seed has been very stingy. It's kind of giving him one item at a time that unlocks kind of the next thing.
What does Ike have for us today?
Only a piece of heart. But that's another full heart for Wild. Nice full heal.
Yep, he's at 11 hearts. He is probably not going to pick up any other hearts that he sees around. I think that's about his comfort level.
Mm-hmm. So now where's Big Dunk going to go? Is he going to follow in Wild's footsteps, or is he going to go for that purple chest?
I think, based off of that initial movement, he's going to just follow the north route. Which, I mean, makes the most sense. It's Catfish Pyramid, and then go into Pod if you don't have anything else going on.
Yeah, we may have to go into Pod without a hammer and a bow, both of which are required to complete the dungeon. The bow, which really unlocks a lot of the items in there. That's tricky, but you can actually have those items in the dungeon itself, so we'll see what happens. Of course, we have this pyramid. With boots! What are those?
Hello, boots. What are those?
Alright, so that does unlock a couple of bonk locations on the overworld, but Wild is electing to not do those and go straight into Palace of Darkness. I think this is a good play because of just how circuitous it is to get here.
Absolutely. If you're in East Dark World and your only way to get there is through the Titan's Mitts, you do everything you can over here while you're over here.
And you might get bow locked immediately, and then you're like, okay, that's it. I know what must be done.
What must be done. So Big Dunk is going to have his boots very, very soon. And let's find out if we're bow locked in Pod. That would be really interesting. If you get bow locked, that means your progression is something behind boots. But we're not.
We're okay for now. Without the bow, probably still not going to be able to access everything here in Pod.
Oh, absolutely. There's a fair chance, depending on how Wild wants to route this. This is a dungeon that has 6 small keys that you can collect, and 4 of them are going to exist before the falling bridge room,
which includes the bow locked side.
Absolutely. He's found 2 so far.
It's a good sign. The more like, if you find all keys here at the start, there's a chance bow can even be in here.
Absolutely.
Big Dunka, excited about his boots on the pyramid there, is going to join Wild in Pod. So, you guys are mirroring each other.
And we have the Ice Rod.
Ooh, that's a nice find. Don't have to be searching for that in the late game. But no progression. So...
As our usual statement of this particular game is no progression. Although Ice Rod is always, it's that one, especially in this one, since Turtle Rock is required, means it can be anywhere in the entire world that is not in Ganon's Tower and not on Trinax himself. So many locations.
So what can be on the lovely pedestal in this scene? I'm curious.
Well, our 3 dungeons are Misery Mire, Swamp, and Ice Palace. The Fire Rod or Bombos can both be on the pedestal.
Oh.
The Mirror cannot, the Lantern cannot, the Red Cane cannot. The Hookshot cannot. That's about it. The Bow can be. So that's exciting.
Bow and Fire Rod, those are some definitely unlikely items to be on the pedestal, but they certainly can be.
And also Ether could be, and that would only matter for Turtle Rock at this point, since we know that Misery Mire is in fact Quake.
Right. So we did find a book in Palace of Darkness. Big Dunka's going to be finding that pretty soon here. So that may unlock some dreams. Maybe over at the pedestal, or maybe at, we can't even get to the Ether tablet, but we can get it in the desert.
That's true. We can't get to either tablet at this point. There's nothing more fun than finding the mirror inside of desert. It's like finding the book inside a desert.
And the book was in a dark room, so this is a sequence break right now for both of these guys.
Right, it doesn't necessarily mean that they won't find lamp in desert, but if they do find the lamp in desert, then that means the mirror has to be somewhere that is not lamp locked.
That's right. Ooh, where are you going, Big Dunka? He doesn't want to do the maze, so he's gonna check this location instead. That is quite the divergence. Or wait.
I think he's just coming from the bottom. You don't normally come from the top and bomb that, so it might have been like muscle memory.
Gotcha. Yeah, and he still hasn't fallen down here.
So he's gonna get his Ice Rod, thankfully.
Yep. Is Wild gonna do the purple chest now?
I think so.
Like it.
He's definitely heading that way. What if we had the hammer in there?
Oh, forced save and quit with purple chest for hammer? That's devious, Vitor. I like the way you're thinking. But we also have the bonkable locations, which Big Dunka might be going for right now.
Oh, it looks like he's absolutely capitalizing the fact that he has the mitts and the boots right now.
They don't just make you go fast. They unlock some sweet locations here.
I'm not entirely sure why Wild is walking with the chest.
Yeah, I don't know either. He's gonna be upset in a second here when he realizes the situation.
Unless he thinks he has mirror. Does he have mirror? Did he get that in the dark mate? No. Okay. He got so close, though.
Alright, and we're gonna check these bonk rocks here.
Wait, did he just dash out of there?
Leave it behind?
He just did?
Oh, there's the mirror! In the bonk rocks! West of Sanctuary.
Well, at least Wild will be getting that. Very, very soon. Although, I wonder why he just left the purple chest there.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he should have kept that on hand, but it's his choice.
Yep.
Maybe he just didn't care enough.
And this looks like we are going to go immediately capitalize Tower of Hera. there's a small chance that after Tower of Hero, we might do the Spike Cave. We have all the requirements necessary for it at this point.
Minus hammer.
Would you stop it with the hammer? No one needs hammer to get in there.
But we can check the ether tablet up here on Death Mountain.
He's just gonna bang Link's head into those little punch blocks.
Oh, I forgot about that.
You didn't know about that? It's almost as if I have no idea what gets you where in this game.
Almost. It's not like you helped make the randomizer or anything.
Not at all.
Oh, wait. You did! And you're awesome for doing it, and we love you.
Oh, that's plenty of that, but you can keep going if you like. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. Today's been... I'm on my 5th cup of coffee. This is exciting.
It's all good, dude. Looks like Wild is actually going to hit up a lot of these mirror locations in the Dark World, which I do think it's cool to just knock this off of your list. Like, this Northern Graveyard Ledge, you don't have to think about it again.
And it's one of those out-of-the-way ones. It's really... When there's something here, it can ruin your game if you don't go here.
It can pay off big time. That's right. Oh, and it does pay off with the bow! Wow.
Huge find, and unfortunate for us, because that could have been on the pedestal.
Yep. RIP. But we still have Fire Rod as an option, so believe.
That's true. Is Wild going to go check it? No.
Maybe he'll hit up some of these other mirror locations. He can now route with the purple chest and go check Bombo's tablet, and he could even jump and see what's in the first chest in Swamp if he wants.
He absolutely could.
I think we found map and compass in Tower of Hera, so the basement is going to be an outstanding item. We still do not have a fire source.
Although it's good that we did find the big key in the map chest to be able to...
Yeah, we can definitely complete it.
Big Dunka really wants to get 3 spin attacks here. Slashes from the Master Sword are the same as spin attacks with the Fighter Sword, which do not do any extra damage to Moldorm. So he just
mirror ledge. Sorry.
Oh, that's all right.
Yet another full heart. Wild is skipping. He's comfortable. His health. And his blue mail.
Yeah, this is really good, though, for Wild. Having the book, he'll be able to knock out Bombos along this path as well.
He can even jump straight into Desert if he wants to check over there.
Having the boots right now, I mean, not having a fire source, sure, you can't beat the dungeon, but I think it's definitely worth, a dip in for 2 items.
And if he does it with the flute path, he could even check checkerboard. And looks like Big Dunka is actually considering that now. Yeah, I think he was going to go straight into the desert with the book, and then he's like, wait a second. I can do this through the Dark World.
Well, the backdoor route is much faster in that if you enter from the left side and then can always mirror back to that point, which is a lot faster than dealing with the entire book animation.
Wild having a little trouble with the mirror there, but he's fine. He's going to check this Bombos tablet, something we haven't seen yet.
He wanted to hit it first, though, for good luck.
Only a piece of heart, and we got 5 arrow upgrade on the torch.
How are any of those left?
I don't know. Honestly.
Alright, so big key in the map room, which means small keys in the big key chest. And hopefully... See, if you had a fire source at this point, you would just go and beat the dungeon. And hope that you get the item off of Landmo.
Yeah, so I think that would be pretty logical routing, but maybe we'll find the fire source in here and then we'll still be able to beat Landmo.
Right. in that case, you could actually... No, you'd do it immediately because you have no business doing Mire later.
Well, speaking of Mire, these guys have a way in with the boots. What are you thinking about that?
That's 2 more items. Potentially. Unless they're, like, fire-locked.
Oh my god. Or Vitreous locked, because you need the red cane to get the one at Vitreous. It's like Wild is jumping in with the book here, and only 20 rupees is the second item.
Well, I guess we're gonna get a checkerboard check, and then where would you head if you were Big Dunka at this point? What, Alu?
That's a good question. We know that Graveyard Ledge is really important. Hopefully he'll think about that, but I don't know. Where else can you go?
I think that you're kind of limited to... He's gonna go into Mire.
Okay, that's a bold move, but I like it. Let's see it, Big Dunka. I really like this play. I think it's a strong play.
If it leads
There's just
to
a couple of stray mirror locations, and then you got this.
Yeah. And good on him for killing the pterodactyl there. That will continue to fly while you're in your Quake animation, and he'll just, you know, deal damage to you. And you really want sword beams. This is one of the few places you're going to want sword beams going into a dungeon.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll be really nice for this early room here. This is a fun room with sword beams. You can just kill all these Wizrobes in one hit. Alright, with that bow, Wild is going straight to Eastern Palace.
Which I think is a very solid play, although we're still lacking the lamp at this point. It's starting to make me think that it's either right side pod or where Big Dunka is right now.
Yeah, it could be here. Or maybe we find, like, Bombos here, and then we go to Ice Palace or something.
I mean, that would be a pendant dungeon leading to another pendant dungeon.
Yep.
Diabolical.
Oh, the hook shot is in Mire, and you had to bonk across. That's an amazing find.
Oh my!
From Big Dunka, the plays.
That is huge, and that is not something people think of often. I really hope that Wild runs into a wall soon, that he ends up going to Misery Mire. On the same note, though, so Dunka is going to be he'll be able to, like, check the right side of Death Mountain, the east Death Mountain area, and Wild has the bow, so they both have one thing that they can capitalize on a lot of locations with.
Absolutely, and that Graveyard Ledge is out of the way for Big Dunka. I mean, he's checked everything else in that area.
Right, so there's not really much reason to go back. And he is locked out of the rest of Misery Mire.
Who cares? He got the hook shot. He can go straight to Death Mountain and check a bunch of chests in both the Light World and the Dark World, so props for finding that.
Ooh, Wild is shooting silver arrows around his... He luckily has 40 of them. Got his key. I like how he, did he shoot the ice rod around to, like, make some markers?
I think, maybe? I don't know.
Because oh no, he had ether. It looks like he picked up ether at some point, so...
I think ether was in the Dark Maze or something in Pod, which Big Dunka did not do.
Right.
So, yeah, that's maybe an important item. We don't know what the requirement for T-Rock is, but we're gonna find out pretty soon for Big Dunka as he checks Paradox Cave here. And that's gotta be Kane!
So we all learn at the same time. That's awesome. That is a huge item. Let's hope that Wild also gets another huge item. Okay. or the fireball shield. Oh, now Big Dunka got my most favorite item, one of my most favorite items, the blue boomerang. Super versatile.
And there's the hammer!
Uh-oh.
What? Misery Mire required to get hammer!
Yep, Mire is the way. But this is good though for Wild. There's not much else he can do after he finishes Hera.
After he gets squirrel blocked.
Those dead rocks, 8 seconds of your time will be lost if you get squirrel blocked. We got 10 arrows up on the floating island.
Gotta give some mad props to Big Dunka here for making that play into Mire.
That was
an awesome play.
Nice gamble. Oh, getting squirrel blocked. So
and
we have
squirrel blocks.
He's hammering that squirrel away. I think this is an excellent play. You're gonna find out what Turtle Rock is. Be bombos. It's Ether.
Ooh, and we know that's in Palace of Darkness.
That we do.
Which I don't think he's going back there until he finds the bow. Which
Probably
is
not.
Something that Wild has over him.
Yeah. So Wild's gonna start running out of locations relatively quickly to the point where he'll hopefully go into Misery Mire over Ice Palace. Well, never mind. He'll go into Misery Mire. He doesn't have any way to get further into Ice Palace.
Right. And we did find half magic in Super Bunny Cave. Really nice find from Big Dunka as we go for 4 chests in Hookshot Cave as well.
And a question in chat about getting a scroll sprite for Link. We have a whole bunch of new sprites coming in V27 that is gonna just be awesome for people. I'm not gonna tell you what they are, but just expect some really good things coming on the way.
Nice. Cannot wait. Did get a red ring in Hookshot Cave, but just really another full heart, and that's about it. Might be seeing a Spike Cave check from Big Dunka here. Or no?
He's gonna do Spiral Cave.
Okay, that makes sense.
And Wild falling down 2 stories.
Oh,
Hit
no.
the ground and mirror.
It's a costly fall.
It's a one of those. If you miss it, you really just wish that you'd gone up an extra floor. And then you question, do I try it again? If I fall 2 more floors, how much time am I losing doing that?
Mm-hmm. Well, looks like Big Dunka only got 20 bucks in Spiral Cave, but he wants to see what's in Spike Cave too, so he's going there right now, I think.
I think Wild's good for this. Yep.
There it is. Rewarded with that compass.
That's also good for the morale. Getting something like that you missed the first time. If you miss that one the second time, that can start really eating away at you. Ooh, nice fairy. For Big
Yeah,
Dunka.
I'm sure like this seed has been eating away at both of these guys. We're like an hour in.
And we got 2 crystals.
Yep, only 2 crystals.
And they're generally considered easier crystals.
Right.
Stern
And
Palace.
Wild's working on his 3rd right now, so does have that little advantage. 20 in Spike Cave.
So we're looking at really late fire in this game.
Yeah, where's this lamp? What is
Where's
going
the
on?
Fire rod, bombos, lamp, anything.
Now, I think a big play from Big Dunka could be to go into Swamp Palace. I think that could be strong. It's a pendant. You got everything you need to finish it. It's the green pendant.
Yeah, that's 7 items.
A lot of items.
But he's gonna do something around here. Is he gonna...
Oh, is this a pedestal check? Is that
Yeah,
what's
but-
happening right now?
I guess so, but I would normally... Well, this is fine. This is fine.
Can we get some pedestal hype in the chat for Big Dunka's big pedestal check? Oh, baby.
We're gonna know right now.
Well, he's missing the bow and ice and fire rod, which both can be at pedestal or ether.
Huge check.
In his eyes. Oh, it's a sword upgrade.
You know, if you just resign yourself to doing the dungeons, you know that you're getting tempered sword. I don't know if that's worth it. But
I don't think it's worth it when Mire and Ice Palace are your pendant and Swamp Palace are your pendants.
Yeah, but you could just go mode them, right?
True.
And
oh no.
Wild's checking the first chest in Swamp Palace.
So this is a big play. I mean, it could still have something, but we know it's not gonna be worth.
I would honestly, though, consider an hour in doing go mode 3 dungeons to get the tempered sword. I would consider it. I'm not saying I would do it, but the difference between tempered sword Ganon and master sword Ganon is huge.
That's fair.
I don't think it's worth the time difference, but if you're not comfortable with, master sword Ganon fight, it's totally worth it.
We did see hammer pegs from Big Dunka, so unfortunately just bombs, but he's cleaning up some stuff in this area. Still needs to go north for that bow, though.
Ooh, guess what?
That's a game changer right there.
That is huge. That is a fire source for Wild.
Wonderful. Okay.
Hanging out in the first chest in Swamp.
So I guess the game wants you to go there before you do other things. No, I think it's fine. I think you can still go into Mire and stuff.
Absolutely. Big Dunka picking up his 12th heart from the Cave 45. Now hopefully checking this mirror location will put his mind on checking the other mirror location. And hopefully Wild runs out of locations to check soon.
Yep, he's going to Tower Hera basement right now. That's where he's going.
I mean, actually, so Big Dunka did have to leave one item behind in Misery Mire, which may or may not be... I mean, the big key is obviously locked away.
Right, but that unlocks the big chest, so you're kind of like... still have the same chance of finding an item there, but if it's on Vitreous, then it's like a forced double dip, because you have to get the hook shot and then go over and get the red cane in Dark Death Mountain, or Light World Death Mountain, sorry.
Are you saying you're hoping there's a required item on Vitreous like Fire Rod?
I'm not saying anything.
Are you saying that you hope that the big key to Misery Mire is in its vanilla location, and you have to have a forced double dip to get the Fire Rod in a pendant dungeon?
I'm not saying anything.
Because that's kind of what that sounded like.
Oh, we're getting a swamp check from Big Dunka. He's going for it. Only a full heart in Tower Hera basement. Wild's gotta be thinking about Mire soon here. He's gotta be thinking about it, man. What else
Well,
can
he can't do much else. He could check right side of pod, although did he have bow the first time he went into pod? I don't think he did.
He did not, so that's an option for him. He's checking the one dark item in Escape, which I think neither of these players have collected.
That is true.
Not bad. He really just doesn't want to go into Mire.
I don't blame him. I mean, luckily, he really can't get into Ice Palace.
Yeah, it's fortunate that he can't make more progress.
And Big Dunk is probably feeling great finding lamp. It's one of those items, you don't need it most of the time, but when you find it, you always feel better.
Green goo in that sewers chest. Gotta go to Misery Mire, Wild. Hour 10 in. Now you gotta pull the trigger, man.
He's got that flute out. He doesn't have much else he can do. Is he going to 6? He's going to 6.
Alright, here we go. We know this is the play, but he actually gets to do it with a fire source.
Right, so he might continue searching.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you're there, right? You gotta keep searching.
Oh,
kind of makes sense.
He's gonna start with the checkerboard cave.
Well, that makes sense. Okay.
Absolutely. Minimize your possibility of having to go into that dungeon, wasting the cutscene. Alright, this is good. Wild is going back in there, and bigdunka is working his way to the chest south of the big chest.
Yeah, he can full clear this, and he knows that Bow, Fire Rod, and Ether could be in here. We know that neither Bow or Ether are here, but Fire Rod certainly could be.
And, he's doing safe strats here so that he doesn't drown the key. It's slightly slower than what you can do with the hook shot normally, but it's also much safer in that you don't have to go 2 screens away, come back, and then like refill and flood rooms along the way.
Absolutely.
Wild making pretty quick work of the mire entrance without sword beams. I expect a few sword slashes when he finds the hookshot.
I think so. And the question is, will he continue? Or will he just take that hookshot up to Death Mountain?
I would hope that he would just continue. I think it's one of those... He's going to be like, I'm here now, I'm going to kick myself later if there is a second item that I need in this dungeon, and I just left.
Right. From his perspective, like Red Cane, Hammer, you know, Fire Rod, all these items can be here.
He's legitimately just missing way too many items, and he's saying, nope, I'm out.
Wow, okay, so both of these guys leaving a potential item behind in Misery Mire. It could be Red Cane locked, so this might be a good decision for Wild anyways. But we know he's going to head up to Death Mountain. There's the red mail, the eggplant hat of dreams for bigdunka there in West Wing Swamp.
Absolutely, and a vanilla big key in Swamp.
Love the vanilla items.
So that play from Wild makes me think that his mindset is, I'm behind. My opponent probably already did this, and rightfully so in this particular case. But that's the only reason you would get that item and just peace out immediately. Especially when you can look at more of the dungeon.
Yeah, you're still missing stuff. $20 in the big chest.
So we have a few questions as to why Wild wouldn't have done Desert, because they've already found both items in Desert, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he could have just mirrored there and finished it. But, I don't know. He has Master Sword, and he doesn't have Fire Rod. He does have Silvers, though. So, like, that could have taken care of Landmo pretty quickly.
I think in his mind it's just as quick to come back here later to finish up Landmo.
You're not
like
really losing too much time.
Yeah. But now that he's found all the value, he's going to get disappointed by the hookshot cave. He can enter Turtle Rock right now, which... I don't know. I would consider doing. I would legitimately. You don't have the Fire Rod.
I think if you're feeling behind, like it seems like he is, you might be able to find Fire Rod in Turtle Rock, and it can pay off huge.
And I think that the point there is, if you don't have Fire Rod and it's not in Turtle Rock, you're not going to get terribly far into Turtle Rock without it. And you can pretty much bank on that. So I think it's worth the check.
Yeah, I think you do it. I think you do it. I'm with you. And you just got half magic. It's a nice little safety. But then you're maybe leaving behind Spiral and Spike Cave, which is interesting. Oh, he's got the mirror out. He says no to Hookshot Cave.
No, I think he's going to mirror to check what's on the floating island. This is his first time over
Gotcha.
to this side. So he just wants to know if it's worthwhile to do the, multiples, transitions, and the bombs to get through the walls. But this is the Hookshot Cave of Disappointment that he's going to be going through.
Mm-hmm.
At least from his perspective, there's just nothing that he really wants in here.
Only 50 at Argus, but we did get that green pendant. Does Sahasrahla have that important fire rod that we are still looking for? I mean, Big Dunka's still looking for a couple other items, but I imagine he's going to be turning that in immediately.
I think, yeah, his goal will be to capitalize this as quickly as possible. Luckily, the Pyramid Fairy won't be on his mind. Wow, Wild getting a clutch fairy.
Yeah, it looks like he's saying no to Turtle Rock. Big Dunka says no to Sahasrahla. Where
Is he going back into Mire?
Oh my goodness.
He's going back into Mire. He's thinking, I have the fire source now. I have the ability to finish this dungeon.
This is a bold play by Big Dunka.
If he's doing this, he might be going for the Tempered Sword as well.
Oh, maybe.
I mean, if you're gonna do it...
I mean, I agree with that. I think you do pull the pedestal if you're gonna do all the dungeons here like this, but man, he is putting all of his faith in Mire. It worked the first time. Why not go back?
Yeah. And,
I like this play from Wild. He's going into Palace of Darkness. He has everything he needs to complete it now, since he does have the bow and the hammer. So he'll clean things up here, and then he will actually have unlocked the Pyramid Fairy and get 2 items there.
That would be interesting to find the fire rod at Pyramid Fairy. Oh, Big Dunka remembering you have to hit that switch to get the compass chest. But he should be able to hit it quick enough and still get to it while these torches are lit. Oh.
Victor, please!
Well, if he didn't get hit by the tile, I'm kidding you not, he had the time.
So there's the big key. Now, if you find an item up here in the big chest or in the vanilla big key location, what do? Do you follow through and you kill Vitreous for that tempered?
If I'm already here, yeah. If I don't find the second item yet, and it really depends on what item I do find. I don't know if I would do this room. This is like a huge time investment.
Well, I mean, he came all the way here. Oh, there's Bombos. That's our way into Ice Palace, if we want to go there. But it could have the fire rod,
which our runners absolutely need to find. They have to be able to beat Trinex and Mothula.
So Bombos is bow locked. We find the compass here in this chest. And I guess Big Dunka's gonna go for the big one.
Might as well. Did he not check the... Did he check the map chest the first time through?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think he checked everything he could because, you're here. Might as well check everything you can. He just needs to get that big chest.
And if it's not an item, then you absolutely go on to Vitreous, and you know what? As soon as you have fire, I think you just quickly do... It's still not worth it, though. I mean, unless you're really uncomfortable... Nah,
he's a piece of heart. He's piecing out. I think it's right to skip over these bosses. When you know what's at the pedestal, you might find that sword upgrade somewhere else, too. Because there's another one, right?
He's going back into the Dark World.
I think he's going to Desert.
Oh, okay. Fair point. And he'd rather go from the faster path.
Then he doesn't have to return here at all.
Absolutely. We got Wild beating up Helm's Sword King, doing a really good job here. See, he's gonna get some hammer hits in. Ooh, he's got 3 for 3 and then 2 slashes. Well done.
Yeah, it was really fast. I was like, you could switch to silvers, but that was actually pretty quick.
Yeah, he must have been practicing those hammer hits. They're not as easy as they look, or I should say, not as easy as he made it look, because it's you have a short throw with your hammer when you're facing upwards. The sword being held out extends it a little, but you kind of have to like get underneath Helm's Sword to get that hit in. It's a really weird hitbox.
Mm-hmm. And that's his 4th crystal. Desert Palace will be an easy crystal for him to get, which we see bigdunka taking advantage of. But maybe we'll see Pyramid Fairy now. Oh, just kidding.
Yeah, Wild's just going straight to Landmo.
You gotta do it. Just knock it out. The question is he gonna go back into Mire?
So we got Ice Rod strats.
Oh,
Much
nice.
Harder to time, but equally as effective as the Fire Rod. And also, they it starts a little farther away from your rod than the Fire Rod, I believe. So you have an easier time of accidentally shooting like past them if their head is right next to you.
Mm-hmm. See, this is where Wild is actually not as far behind as it seems.
No, I think at the moment
crystals done.
He's actually, I would consider ahead at this point by a little bit.
Maybe.
The being held back by the bow is currently where bigdunka is at.
We're getting the Sahasrahla check. I'm excited about this.
Now this could be super huge for bigdunka.
I think that would put him like way back in this too. Oh! It's the Fire Rod and Sahasrahla! We see the rain slashes coming in! bigdunka now needs to get to that graveyard ledge and into pod. Wow, that swamp play paid off.
This has become a huge race right now. It's probably going to be a while before Wild goes the full Monty on Swamp. Although he went in and checked the first chest already before he could go any further. So he might go back.
He might, but oh man, that's tough. Oh, is he going to Turtle Rock? What is he doing?
He can get in, I guess.
He'll get gated pretty quickly, I imagine. But yeah, bigdunka going for the Skull Woods play, which is good. Another crystal.
Absolutely. And then he might go into pod next with his setup. No, he can't really do much there. What can he do?
Graveyard ledge.
Yeah, that's what he can. I mean, he can go back into pod and navigate the Dark Maze and get Turtle Rock access.
He can also go into Ice Palace.
He 100% can.
Yep, that could be a problem. Just like going into T-Rock could be a problem for Wild right now. Who can also go into Ice Palace.
They both can. Searching for entirely different things.
Mm-hmm. So, bigdunka, what he needs to do is he needs to go to Graveyard Ledge, he needs to grab the bow, and then he has to go to pod to get his ether. Then he's in go mode.
Yep.
What Wild needs is he needs to go and full clear swamp, or at least kill Argus, and then get to Sahasrahla. So, this is tricky, because Graveyard Ledge is a bit out of the way at this point.
It's something you can easily forget.
Mm-hmm.
And all the while, both our runners are probably, I mean, they're comfortable-ish doing Master Sword Ganon, but I'm sure they're going to be happy to find any other sword.
And Wild did find a key here. The first chest in Turtle Rock, so he can continue.
Oh, goodness. That might actually be a big disadvantage to him.
We'll see what's in Chain Chomps. If they have an item or something, then he'll just get stopped immediately, and he'll know that it can't be here.
But if they have a key, he's going all the way to our friends, the Mimics.
Oh no!
All the way to the Mimics. No. Oh, Big Duncan hasn't gotten his item yet, so it's got to be down underneath here.
And that hurts your go mode potential for Turtle Rock too. That means when you come back, you have to...
Yeah, checking this center item is going to hurt him. So what do you think is going to be in the big chest? Powder?
That would be fun.
That would be one more fetch quest. Where's Big Dunka going?
I have no idea.
Okay, neither does he. So he's coming back and gonna... What's in this chest, Wild? Be a key. Okay.
Oh, you know what?
What's up?
I think Big Duncan can't go into T-Rock. That's really good for him.
He needs to. He would have to go into Pod.
But he's already like locked himself out of Ether in Pod.
Oh.
By using keys in a certain way, I think.
Yeah, he has to find a bow.
Yeah. Or so that's actually a really good thing for him.
Going to Ice Palace.
Right.
Which is
both of these guys can go to Ice Palace. Wild needs to watch his health right now.
He's about to get bunnied. Yep. Oh, he got saved there. Although right now, I can see Big Dunka checking the ledge because he's here.
He's right here and he's going in that general direction.
Yeah, I think he's totally heading that way.
Oh man, this is huge! Here we go, folks!
He's just 2 steps away from go mode.
Yep, he needs to get this, and then he's got to go to Pod directly.
What could Wild get that would push him towards Swamp Palace?
It'd be interesting if he finds a sword upgrade here, but he did not.
No, he's done. He's done here. He knows he has to go somewhere else.
I mean, I think Swamp makes more sense than Ice just because of the density, but... I don't know. He can go for a bold play if he feels like he's behind.
And Dunka's got the D.
Dunka with the D. He's got 4 crystals.
Well, this is looking good.
So Wild's 5, but Wild might be going into Swamp Palace right now. So this could be his chance to get that fire rod.
He's gonna probably do the Pyramid Fairy first.
Oh, that's exactly what he's doing.
It's 2 quick items. I don't blame him for doing this. I think this is, quite frankly, between the 2 choices, this is much faster to check.
Certainly.
And if it does lead to the Tempered, might be advantageous.
That would actually be pretty significant.
Yeah, that would cut a lot of time out of the final fight and speed up a few of his... It'll speed up the the Argus fight.
And the Trinex fight, for sure.
Absolutely. Master Sword Trinex is a little bit of a bear to do.
Oh no!
But
hit by the guy there.
But Wild. Ooh, that's got to be slightly tilting.
Yeah, that's costly. He was right there in front of the bomb location.
So, Big Dunka is just going straight for Helmasaur King.
Interesting.
Big Dunka is going to have to do a lot more work in this dungeon later. He's going to have to go back up the right side to get the key so that he can go back into the dark maze.
Wow. And he's going to find Bombos over there and be like, oh, it's going to be an Ice Palace, maybe. Or he'll full clear the dungeon, which is definitely the right move. I do understand this play, though. You still have a few items in here. Might as well get your crystal, which we know is required. and potentially get an item. It's gonna be the map, sadly, but...
Right, from his perspective, he hasn't found map or compass. There's 5 more locations in the dungeon. If he can save himself any amount of time, he's gonna want to do that. Has he actually checked what's on Turtle Rock? That it's ether?
Yes.
Okay, I was gonna...
No.
Wild definitely has. Wild definitely has because he's been in Turtle Rock.
That's right. There's some blue goo and
Ooh.
20 bucks.
He's gonna mirror. Where is Wild gonna go?
I hope it's not to Ice Palace.
That
will spell his doom.
think if he goes... We want him to... Okay, he's going... This is good.
This is good. I don't know what else he can do, but swamp from here.
He could do Ice Palace. We've already gone over this.
No, why would you flip to 4 instead of 8?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough. Why would you say that? Don't say these things! Okay, I think he's going to swamp.
I have a feeling he's going into swamp too.
You think he's going into ice, Vitor? Are you serious? No, I'm kidding. Alright.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going into Ice Palace from this entrance. This is the alternate Ice Palace entrance. So, Wild needs 1 item. Wild knows Wild needs 1 item. Wild is going to check items by density, and as soon as he has the green pendant, before going into ice, he will absolutely check Sahasrara.
I hope so. If he goes into ice before he turns in that pendant,
no,
he'll be kicking himself for days.
Yeah, no.
You make this play, you commit.
But, yeah, we got bigdunka. He's got a fast, he's gonna get through this dungeon pretty fast and enter Turtle Rock, so Wild is behind.
He is. He still has to do Skull Woods and then Turtle Rock, although he's done some of it, which is good. So, some of the work has been done, but he's still gonna have to find some small keys.
Yeah.
Wait, but bigdunka didn't get his ether.
No, he did not. bigdunka has actually given Wild a chance, a huge chance here too.
Maybe bigdunka's doing this first, seeing what Armos drops, and then going back into pod?
Or, I mean, yeah. That or he might do Ice Palace.
Oh my goodness.
He could go back into Mire.
Oh, please! Why would he go back into Mire? He already got both items.
To get that sweet tempered sword.
Then why not go into ice first?
I don't know. I don't know what he's gonna do. I would have assumed that you would have just gone back into pod to collect the rest of the items. But maybe you're right. Maybe he forgot how many items he had gotten in Eastern. He's definitely back in the Dark World.
Okay, this is good for bigdunka. He really should be doing the bow side, though.
Yeah.
He really should be, because I don't know what he's going to accomplish here. Okay, he's going to fall down first. And then go to the bow side.
Probably. Did he not get this chest? No, he got this chest. He probably remembered that he was lacking a key and didn't want to do the hammer jump.
Sure, but they are the key is definitely over here. He's gonna find Bombos as well. Hopefully that doesn't persuade him.
That would be pretty awful if he found Bombos and thought, you know what? Maybe I should do Ice Palace. Maybe I should have pulled out that pedestal item. He knows it's the sword, but come on. Okay, Wild, you have
big key.
half a dungeon to go. No, he's going all the way to the Dark Maze. This is good for him.
This is really good for Big Dunka.
I will say for Wild, though, the upside to finding the big key on the west side means he's not going to be even slightly concerned about coming back into this dungeon afterwards. He'll be able to collect everything on his first trip through.
Yep, absolutely. And the big key location helps him get the big chest. Just flows nicely. Right, into the dark maze we go, says Big Dunka. And that's where his ether will be. Going ahead and bombing the wall there. Not gonna need to. There it is! Big Dunka's in go mode!
That's right. Which started off with a little bit of bow mode.
That's right. He's off to Turtle Rock. That's his last dungeon.
Yep, so
Wild still has to turn in that green pendant, go to Skullwoods, and go all the way to Turtle Rock. But he has done some of Terminal Rock, so this could maybe come down.
He'll just have to do right side.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it could also come down to execution. If they don't find a better sword, your Master Sword battle is like, it could be a huge difference depending on how much you've practiced it.
Absolutely, and this Trinex fight isn't going to be very simple either. They do have half magic, so they could spam a few Ice Rod and Fire Rod shots as well, but still a bit tricky.
Yeah, you can, with Quarter Magic, totally just use Fire Rod and Ice Rod to kill the heads. But we don't have that in normal mode anymore, or normal difficulty. Alright, gonna get a quick kill on Vitreous, hopefully.
Just had to say it, didn't you?
Hey, he got it!
He did get the one silver arrow there to knock out Vitreous, and there is the key to this seed for Wild. That green pendant.
So just by the nature of Turtle Rock, Wild is, if he doesn't go, he better go immediately to our man Havana out there and get his Fire Rod.
He has to go right now. We cannot go to ice.
Yeah, no, he's fluting. This is good. Flute to 5. Perfect. He's going to be about half a dungeon behind, if not a little bit more at this point. Although Big Dunka is getting zapped by the Bari, and then having a little trouble getting off the Samaria platform.
Yes, he is.
he's having a bit of trouble there.
That or just going for a casual joyride.
You know, it does look like fun.
And that's go mode for Wild. He got his Fire Rod, so he is off to Skull Woods.
This, depending on how Wild's Skull Woods fight goes, I mean, it could be getting closer. You think I need coffee? I'm on my 5th cup. I could get some more coffee. You ever
Willard
watched,
would be proud.
What?
Willard would be proud.
Oh, that's a good one. Have you ever watched Futurama, where they get the money and Fry drinks like 100 cups of coffee?
I vaguely remember it.
Yeah, one day that's gonna be me.
Oh, you heard it here first, folks.
100 cups. So Wild opting to, I believe, skip that key in that room right there, I probably would have gotten that one because it's faster than killing the Gibdo later.
Probably true, but he just wants to race through here. I mean, he's got a mission to clear this as quickly as possible. Big Dunka having a little trouble in Chain Chomps. We know they have a key, so this is important. Wild is actually going to have to do the Fire Rod side of Turtle Rock as well. Keep that in mind.
Absolutely. And to answer the question in chat, when I get coffee, I get it black, simple. But there have been times where I walk in and say, "Could you give it to me rando style?"
Oh, got him. That sounds like my kind of style.
It's just what do you got back there? Just throw some of it. Throw something in a cup. I'll take whatever. Oh, come on, Wild. You got this.
There it is. Mothula down. Now it's just Turtle Rock.
Yeah, Wild's gonna only have to check the right side of the first floor, and then he can basically bolt for the Trinex fight.
He can make a decision about the big chest. Because...
Oh! Big Dunka
still...
getting... Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, Big Dunka getting perfect RNG going into the Pokey Room, but having his Fire Rod out and not being prepared to spin kind of made that a little less than optimal.
Well, he only has Master Sword.
I get that, but you would still... The spin attacks would still kill them mostly, except for their heads.
True. There is a small key.
Oh, so Wild
that
cannot
chest.
gamble on the big chest.
Mm-hmm.
Since he used his key, and Big Dunka gets to go straight to the Trinex.
That's a shame.
That is a bit unfortunate.
But he should, I guess he should know that. I don't know.
So, I think Big Dunka's going to check a few chests. He probably won't check the laser bridge. Unless he's feeling... I mean, that's one of those checks that... I don't know, I'd 50-50. Like, if there's a better sword there, that amount of time you waste on the laser bridge is probably less than the amount of time that you would gain by having a tempered sword.
Right. And Wild is forced to check the laser bridge, which could result in a sword upgrade. So, I don't know, it's tricky.
Yeah, he's not
going
going
to
to check
just
it.
go to the boss. Yep.
And he is only half full on hearts. He's feeling pretty comfortable. I got a free heart there. Getting trolled by the smart.
I think a Ganon's Tower gamble can actually change this race still.
Absolutely.
They're in the same dungeon right now. And Wild's a bit further behind, but yeah, where that big key location is going to make all the difference. So let's see this Master Sword Trinex fight from Big Dunka.
Oh, he's going with slash strats. I think this is fine when you have half magic. You got some time to kill.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about menuing. You can just work at him with your sword and the rod strats.
He's got to watch his health, though. He is dangerously close.
Whew. Please.
All right, everyone, just clinch up. Oh, he
has a fairy. Okay.
That was...
We both saw it. It's like, all right. I guess this isn't so bad.
Both getting real quiet for a little bit.
Whew.
Yeah, that was very, very close. And getting a free bottle.
That's nice. Blue goo. Alright, so Wild is making the correct decision coming here to get the small key. Question is, will the laser bridge have a tempered sword? That could be really big for Wild to catch up here.
That will speed up his ascent through Ganon's Tower. That will... And we know it's the fourth sword if he does find it. Mm-hmm. That Big Dunka will not be getting it.
But we are entering Ganon's Tower now. Big Dunka's in here. Can we get some guesses for where the big key will be in Ganon's Tower from all of you? This is your chance to participate in this seed. We got 22 locations, or if you just want to name a location, you can pick that too. What are you feeling, Vitor?
Well, I'm going to go with the number 5 because that's probably the number of times I've thought that they could go somewhere that they can't based on the items they have.
All right, then.
How about yourself?
I'm going to go with Tile Room.
Tile Room.
I'm going to go with Tile Room. There's the cape. Chest number 1. Chest number 2 has a small key, and we're going right, folks.
And Wild Anaconda so far picking up a map off the laser bridge. Got his key. Is he gonna... He's not even gonna keep checking. He says, I'm done. Let me go kill this guy and get into GT.
I don't blame him. He's got to be feeling a little bit behind.
Absolutely. And
took him a while to find that hook shot.
I have a strong feeling Wild will go left. And so long as... If the big key isn't on this side, then we are very much again back into a race.
And we're gonna see some hammer strats on Trinex.
Ooh.
20 rupees, piece of heart, and compass! We are not having a key on the right side unless it is the tile room.
Unfortunately, both of our runners letting Trinex pee on the floor.
Wild with a nice first phase on Trinex with those hammer strats. Takes him out.
Yeah, I guess the question is, if Wild is really feeling that far behind, is he going to gamble right side?
Or is he going to gamble on the tile room? It's a pretty big gamble.
That's it.
Putting your faith in one item, but it's pretty awesome.
Oh.
Well, we know it won't pay off because it looks like Big Dunka has found the big key here. It's going to search these chests for a sword, I guess.
Yeah, he did a little extra searching.
And if you guessed chest number 9, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Would have been 5 otherwise. If you didn't go to the right side. But chest 9.
Mm-hmm.
Give yourself a pat on the back. And I guess you'll get one got him from Alucard.
Got him!
There we go. That is your prize for guessing correctly.
Everybody else, you know, cover your ears or misremember all of that. Was just said.
Alright, so we want Wild to just check the 2 right chests and then head off to the left. You know it's mathematically correct to go left, Wild. I believe in you.
Yeah, this is all execution from here on out.
And Big Dunka saying, I have enough health that I just want to dash through this room. Solid play.
That's execution for you. Knowing to fall in the pit and then get the iframes. Seems good.
Using the fire rod in this first room.
Got half magic. Knock him out.
He's just blowing up Stolfos like it's nobody's business there.
Wild has decided to go left, so he is going to make up some time here. Will it be enough? This is going to be a close one, guys.
Yeah, because the Master Sword Ganon fight can take a little bit. And again, this is all any little mistake, a fall to Moldorm from Big Dunka could really kind of bring things back.
Wild says no to those 2 chests.
No, he is
comfortable with that Master Sword.
Eye on the prize. I don't even think he's going to open any of the top 4 chests, where I think Big Dunka will.
Yep. And one way or the other, that will make a difference in this race. And Big Dunka with an awesome land mode too. With those silvers, beautifully executed. He actually had a really great gauntlet. I mean, he's down to only 3 hearts, but we know he has a fairy. He's got that blue goo that he picked up from Trinex. I think they might have some like green goo or something too.
Absolutely. So that, I mean, getting that free bottle at the end is always going to make you feel a lot more confident coming into here.
Mm-hmm.
Wild having a bit of trouble with the second Mimic Room, but recovering quickly. Big Dunka low on magic is going to use the lantern in the first torch room after Gauntlet. And Wild getting a free fairy, but deciding to pass it up. Not worth his time.
Really nice, solid Gauntlet.
Yeah, he is
Room
just
2.
tearing through this Gauntlet.
And is Big Dunka going to check these chests? It looks like he is. There's a piece of heart here. Another piece of heart.
At the very least, he might get a refill before Ganon.
Yeah. Does not have the powder, so we can't actually powder these anti-fairies.
He's got plenty of arrows, so he doesn't need to get that pickup.
He needs another piece of heart. Maybe it will be in the validation chest. Wild with a nice landmo too. He's got his eye on the prize.
He's catching up. Like I said, anything can bring these runners back together here.
Oh,
he's aggroed, and he has his back to Moldorm. Don't have your back to Moldorm. Okay.
There it is.
So, like, this could come down to your execution on...
And 20 rupees
Wow.
in that final validation chest. Well done checking it, but not gonna give you a sword this time, says the game. I guess the sword was in, like, Ice Palace or the end of T-Rock there.
Probably.
Means if Wild doesn't check any of these things, he's gonna make up even more time. But Big Dunka's already in the Aga 2 fight, got 2 hits on as well.
You know, Wild is dead on. He's currently probably about 30 seconds behind, if not a little bit more.
Maybe a little more than that, because Big Dunka just finished up Aga 2. Really nicely done with that 1 heart remaining. We know he has a fairy, but still, well done.
And we have an aggroed Moldorm from Wild. Nice dash kill.
And here we go, into the Ganon fight.
Yeah,
Big
looks
Dunka's
like
got to clutch this one out.
Wild's a little over a minute behind at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So anything can happen. This is a rough fight. And Big Dunka's starting it off with 1 heart and has his cape equipped.
Yep, he's got that cape out. That'll be big.
But any single hit right now will force him to use his fairy.
Yes, it will, Vitorp. We knew that going into this. You didn't have to tell us that, but that's okay.
What now? Did you say I called that right?
And there's Aga 2 down for WildAnaconda. As Big Dunka's taking some hits here, he's got to be really careful.
What he's really hoping is that Ganon will do the get 1 tile away from someplace so that he can lay quite a few of these spin attacks on him.
Absolutely, but unfortunately Ganon positioning himself in kind of weird places. Oh, there's a good pattern.
Yeah, although you'd want to get rid of your cape at this point to not use up any more magic.
He's got the blue goo, so I think he's planning on just using that. But he needs to use it right now!
Absolutely he does.
Whew!
That was a scary moment.
That was a very scary moment. Alright. Look at this. Both at Ganon. Wild trying to get a couple extra hits on Ganon here in this pattern. But at the cost of his health. He has to be careful.
I think he'll probably put on the cape here in a second. We're in phase 3 for Big Dunka.
Mm-hmm.
Phase 2 for Wild. So he's catching up.
He is, but Big Dunka just got to get those 4 silver arrow shots, and then it's done.
That's true.
Wild is electing for cape strats. That is helping speed things up, but he has to be careful. Running out of magic here can be devastating. Okay.
Oh, I think he got that the frame after he popped out of the cape. Alright. Oh, Wild choosing to stay on the outside again in for this one.
bigdunka getting those silver arrow hits and tried to go for the double. Missed it. One more hit should do it here. Oh! Dodging bullets. And that's gonna seal it away. bigdunka takes down Ganon. GG to bigdunka as Wild enters Phase 4 of Ganon. Wow. And he is gonna finish with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 55 minutes, and 30 seconds as Wild goes for getting these final silver arrow hits in.
But it looks like he's cutting some of the silverless strats on Ganon. He got a few hits in there. This is a really rough fight to do with where you have to charge up and catch Ganon.
Absolutely. And there it is, the final silver arrow on Ganon. GG to WildAnaconda69. He definitely tried to catch up there, and he did everything he could to do it, but it wasn't quite enough. bigdunka's execution was on point, and he's going to take the win and go 2-2. WildAnaconda, unfortunately, going to go 1-3, but he still has a chance for the playoffs if he does hit that 3-3. GG to both of these players.
Absolutely, that was very well played. Sacerdotal's homecoming. And it looks like we have bigdunka coming in here in just a second. That was fast. GG, dude.
Dude, oh my god.
Wow, clutch finish there. Managed to make the big plays in this race to go to Misery Mire and get that hook shot. That definitely held Wild up, although you were still searching for something else. And that was the bow.
Yeah, I've only got to imagine that he didn't... I mean, did he find the bow really quick, or...
He did, actually. So he had a huge advantage with that bow, but he was lacking the hook shot for so long. But then he also put off going to Swamp for a while, and so that Fire Rod kind of threw him for a loop a bit as well.
Yeah, I started taking huge gambles after, the Lantern, I'm going to say, because I double dipped into Mire, because I had assumed I was way behind, and then I decided to full clear Swamp, which I never do.
Well, it certainly paid off. It wasn't looking like it for a little while, and then our boy Sahasrahla delivered the goods.
I hope he didn't feel bad that I slashed his head off 8 times.
He doesn't feel a thing. He's impervious to sword slashes.
But we were really worried and wondering when you would head over to the Mirror Ledge, just like we were worried for Wild when he would get around to going to Swamp and getting that Fire Rod, or when he would go to hook shots in Mire. So it was a crazy race. So much back and forth.
I mean, that was so... The beginning was so incredibly slow, and there was just no items for like 45 minutes. It was crazy. I've never seen that.
Yeah, you guys were just breadcrumb city for the entire beginning of that.
Yeah, it seemed like the game was really only giving you kind of one path forward, but it would open up a bit and then kind of narrow in on one point, like getting the hook shot in Meyer, and then again it would like open wide again. It was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end there was like 3 or 4 different areas that had like one spot still open. There was the chest in Thieves, there was the basement in Hera, and I was just dreading having to go to those. And I mean, I don't know where I would have gone if it wasn't in Pod, because I left Pod. I key locked myself out of Pod on accident when I went in there dark and realized too late that I ran out of keys. I was going to try to go left to do the dark room first, and then I used my last key and didn't mean to, and then I had to leave, and yeah, and then having to go back. It's so just gut-wrenching to have to waste that much time double dipping into things. But again, at that point, I was shocked I wasn't that he didn't finish 10 minutes faster.
He ended up making the play back into Hera to check the chest down in the basement and a few other places before finally going into it. Because you don't really want to do a full clear on Swamp at any point. But when it comes down to a choice between a full clear on Swamp and a full clear on Ice Palace, Swamp's your friend.
Did he go into Ice?
No one did.
No,
luckily.
no one went into Ice, thankfully.
There was a period where both of you could have gone into Ice with different items. You had the Fire Rod and he had Bombos.
Yeah, I didn't want to go into there at all. I mean, I probably would have gone there next. That's probably logically if the ether wasn't in Pod, that would have been the next place to go. But yeah, my mind was jello at that point. I was all over the place.
Yeah, I think what hurt Wild probably the most was he actually did double dip T-Rock.
Yeah.
So he actually went in there without the Fire Rod looking for it, and it just wasn't the play. I think that probably hurt him the most. Because he actually had the Ether medallion because he found it in Pod. I mean, he had Bo. He was able to do the whole dungeon. I think the first time he entered, he actually checked that maze and got it, actually. But
yeah, he did the dark room for it.
I would have done the exact same thing if I had Ether at that point. I will not lie. At that point, when I was missing... What was I still missing? What were my last 3? It was Fire Rod. It was Bow, I guess. Yeah, it was Fire Rod, Bow, and Ether. If I would have found Ether, I probably would have went into T-Rock as well.
yeah, so your key usage in Pod actually kind of saved you in a way. Because
Strangely enough.
T-Rock key positions allowed you to actually get to Mimic Cave, which Wild did.
Oh, that's brutal.
Yeah, it was pretty rough for him. But despite that, he was making up a lot of ground, so really, really impressive play on his part to catch up so much to make it just about a minute between you two.
Yeah, I would definitely want to watch the replay of that one.
But this puts you at 2-2 in the Swiss, so 2 more wins, and you're guaranteed a spot in the group stage. So that's pretty good news for you, right?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to go... Obviously, I didn't want to lose my safety net on this one, but, I mean, Anaconda's such a good player. I've seen several of his races, and, I remember watching his races last season, too, and it was just... He's such a good player, but, I mean, look at the people that are 1-3.
There are a lot of really good players in the main tournament. When you whittle it down to just 100 and you have to basically qualify for it, you're just in a minefield of excellent players all around. There's nobody who just really super lucked into this. It's everyone earned their right into it. So, GG on the win, going 2-2.
Dude, thank you very much. No one's more surprised at that finish than I was.
And a solid finish it was.
Indeed. Any final thoughts here as we round things out?
I do not want a seed like that ever again, ever in my life.
Fair
So
enough.
you're saying you want one that has more interesting things?
I would be happy with a sword and having to check a bunch of stuff and have it be linear, rather than just not having anything for so long, and then everything open up at once, and then just decide, there's 5 different areas where to go, and it's coin flips. So
Fair enough. Fair enough.
that's very stressful.
Oh, it totally is. Yeah, you guys were without anything for so long. It was like, cool Quake medallion. What am I gonna do with this?
I don't even remember. I remember seeing the Quake. I don't even remember where Quake came into play. I don't even remember.
It was like in Sanctuary or something.
It was the very beginning. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was in Sanct. That's right. Crazy.
Absolutely insane, but well played, and good luck to you in the future rounds.
Thank you very much, and thank you guys for commentating, and our streamers and our trackers and everybody that makes this put together. You guys, as always, do a fantastic job.
Make sure you guys are following Big Dunka and WildAnaconda69. They did an awesome job here today. Wild, unfortunately, was not able to join us for an interview, but we do have some Spectre Night coming up here at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on Speed Gaming 2. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. I believe Pokemon Puzzle League is coming up at 9 p.m. Eastern, and at 10 p.m. Eastern time, we've got more Link to the Past Randomizer for you. So definitely stay tuned to Speed Gaming 3 for that match. And I think there is also some more Earthbound at 10 p.m. too. So lots of stuff going on. Make sure you guys are on top of that and joining in for some more fun. But with that, I will say adieu, and thank you, VTorp, for the awesome commentary. Dude, thank you very much for tracking. And of course, thank you, Feasel, for the restream.
Yes.
And I will leave you with the last word, VTorp.
Socks.